episode 5 of Double D Sports Talk.
Yep.
I'm Dylan Police. I'm here with Woofle and Peyton LeMunyon. First and foremost, make sure you guys follow our social media. The link it has everything that you need to follow us on, stay updated with. You can watch all our past podcasts. You can watch our podcast live on Twitch, and on Instagram we recently held a giveaway. I think we had like 11 entries. It's for a $20 Amazon gift card or anything equivalent. So we'll get to that right now. I just put every single entry into this. It's literally called the random thing picker. So I'll press this button. It'll give the name of the person that wins. I'm just gonna check and make sure they follow us. And as long as they follow us, they will be getting a DM later on how to accept their prize. So here we go. It is Paige Budry. So we'll go over and just make sure she's following us. If she's following us, she is the official winner of the giveaway. Let's see. And she is. All right, so Paige, you have won. You'll get more info on that later. So, Woofle, welcome back, man. We're back to another episode here, Double D Sports Talk. We got a lot to talk about.
We're rolling, man.
We are rolling right through them, dude. Keeping them coming. We got our second host ever here is Peyton LeMunyon. He's a big NFL guy, big Colts fan. So, Peyton, anything you want to promote, anything you want to shout out? Just
what's up, guys? Not much. Thanks for having me. About to talk some sports, huh?
All right, so let's get right into the major thing. The major thing of this episode is going to be the draft. First, we're going to focus on the Eagles draft. So the first pick that we had was number 22. We traded up to get it, and we ended up getting Andre Dillard out of Washington State. A lot of guys absolutely love this pick. He's an offensive tackle. He should end up taking place of Jason Peters. So, Woofle, how'd you feel about this pick?
I was ecstatic when we got this pick because I saw in a lot of NFL analysts mock draft this guy was going high. I saw that he was rated one of the best tackles in the draft. I also saw a statistic where he only let up one sack in over 750 snaps. This guy's a big dude. I don't know how he is on the run, but I know this for a fact. Wentz doesn't have to worry about his blind side that much when he's dropping back in the pocket.
Yeah, Peyton, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was a decent pick overall. Like trading up 3 spots to get him. I think maybe they felt as if a team ahead of them would have took him. I don't know. I probably would have sat back. They gave up a little bit for him, but he's a senior. He's a big guy. It's something the Eagles can be excited for, and a good replacement for Jason Peters.
Yeah, one of the major reasons they actually traded up, they traded in front of Houston, and if you remember last year, Houston gave up a ridiculous amount of sacks. So if they didn't trade up in front of them, Houston probably would have ended up taking Dillard, and we would end up having to settle with somebody else. I think it was a good move. We might have gave up a little bit too much, but for the future
overall, good pick.
Yeah,
you can't. O linemen are. It's kind of like not so exciting pick, but it's very necessary.
Absolutely, totally agree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't get mad at drafting a big like a 6'5" senior.
Especially a guy who's going to replace our current 38-year-old tackle.
Yeah.
Love Peters to death, but his time's winding down.
The O-line is a spot where I think the Eagles they struggled with their O-line last year. They had some different combinations going. So if they ever have someone go down, you have a decent guy to replace.
Yeah, especially, concerning with Wentz's health, whenever he gets hit, it seems like he's kind of injury prone at this point. It's obviously a little early to say, but he hasn't really played an entire season.
Yeah. I love Wentz as a quarterback. It's just, he literally hasn't played a playoff game yet, and it's a little scary.
Yeah, and we've won the damn Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So moving on to the second round pick, another absolute pick that everybody's falling in love with. Miles Sanders, the running back out of Penn State. He came up. He was a successor to Saquon Barkley. Guess you heard of him. He's probably
he's pretty good.
Yeah. So they're comparing it to him, and the only thing that really is not really scary, but just not extremely well that he does is his pass game. He's not very good coming out of the backfield catching passes, but he is an absolute great runner. He's very patient. From what I've seen when I saw the highlights, he's extremely patient and waits for the holes, which is something we need. He's more of a power guy.
You can't compare him to Barkley, like as far as physique goes. Barkley's just a freak of nature, but it'll offer a good 1-2 punch with having Jordan Howard, and I also the one thing that I had heard when he got drafted was that he had some fumbling issues, and that was just one of the negatives that I had noted on. But they love those Penn State guys, so
I'm happy with the pick. I mean, it just solidifies our backfield, I think. You got that 1-2. You have that official 1-2 punch with Jordan Howard, and now this guy, Miles Sanders.
You still got Corey Clement too. I don't
Absolutely.
know where he falls in line.
Because
I know the Eagles, like during the Super Bowl run, they were running like two back schemes
consistently.
Yeah,
they'll find a way to use all of their backs. I mean, I don't know who's going to be the fourth. I don't know if they're going to have 4 backs, but I don't know who's going to be the 4th back. It could be Adams. It could be Smallwood. But
if you don't need 4 back, if you're one back, like Jordan Howard, I feel like is definitely an improvement over like the job is decent, but I mean, Jordan Howard has been. I think he's like up there in yard leading over his career since his career started.
I think he's a solid replacement for Ajayi for sure. But I guess if they're going to be throwing the ball in the backfield, they're definitely going to have Clement out there. Because like you said, Dylan, Peyton, Miles Sanders he's not really that good when it comes to being a receiving back. Same with Howard, obviously. He's more of a power up and down back. But yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of Corey Clement. That doesn't mean he's going to see less time just because we got these 2 guys. I think it's probably going to be the same amount of time he got last year, if not more. Especially when it comes to the passing game.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think we're really gonna have a problem with the passing game with our backs. It's just that Sanders isn't gonna be the feature back. Like he won't be able to the one and only back that we have. But it's nice to be able to work him in and not rush him into the spot because we have all these guys that are capable of playing the running back position. So he's not gonna be forced to carry the ball 45 times a game. And then we ended up picking up a wide receiver, JJ. I'm not even going to say the first part of his last name. Arcega-Whiteside. There we go. He's out of Stanford. He's a wide receiver. A lot of guys, again, comparing him to Alshon Jeffrey. He's going to be end up filling in the spot for him whenever Alshon ends up getting out of Philly, which hopefully is no time soon. But I think, again, it was a great pick. We needed another big guy in the wide receiving core after losing Tate. Tate really wasn't that big, but he was still bigger than the usual wide receivers that we have. So now we got Alshon, JJ, and then at slot we got Djax and Nelly, which should be absolutely perfect for a perfect amount of options for Wentz to be able to throw the ball to.
When they draft this guy, that tells you, man, they got to move one of these guys, and that guy is going to be Nelson Agholor. I've heard so many rumors about him being on the trade block. I don't think he wants to leave, but I think he's definitely going to be traded before the beginning of the year. I don't know what they would get back, but I don't think it's going to be that much. He's on the final year of his contract. He's a slightly above average receiver. I can only see them probably getting a 3rd or 4th round pick. But I think this guy, Arcega-Whiteside's going to do a good job filling in for him.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick. The Eagles receivers kind of, I mean, their best receiver was Ertz last year at one point.
Yep.
So it was exciting to get Deshaun back, but then to draft this guy, it just adds another guy in the mix that you can. It's just another weapon for Wentz.
Yeah,
big kid. He's got great hands. So
yeah, in college, I'm looking at stats right now. He averaged almost 17 yards per catch, and he had 14 touchdowns in the entire last season. And Stanford, mind you, is
Pac-12 isn't no slack of a conference.
and Stanford runs a pro style kind of offense, but I mean that which is nice because it should be seamless. And I expect Whiteside to be getting a lot of reps this season. And then moving on to round 4, which was kind of surprising. We waited till round 4 to get a defensive player. We ended up getting Sharif Miller, another Penn State guy, defensive end. He's had 7.5 sacks and 15 tackles for loss last season. He's definitely a bigger guy. He's known for his strength, but he's got some things to work on. But again, solid pick, 4th round. You can't
Not
ask,
a bad pick in the 4th round.
Can't ask much more. Yeah.
I was a bit surprised that at this point we didn't try to get a linebacker. There were so many good linebackers on the board.
Got Zach Brown today.
Well, yeah, we got Zach Brown today. I think that is an A+ signing. This guy, he might have the most tackles in Redskins history. I don't know, but this guy can stuff the run for sure. I think he's a great fit for the Eagles. But going back to the draft, Sharif Miller. This guy is a Penn State local. He's just another guy to add to that D-line rotation, bro. I think he's going to be a guy that can fill in. You know, when Fletcher Cox needs a break, when Derek Barnett needs a break, this guy's going to fill in. I think he's going to do a very good job, especially with his size and height.
Got Malik Jackson in there.
Yep.
Yeah, the Eagles do a real good job. Defensive coaches do a real good job of making sure that the defensive line stays fresh, which is a big part of why Fletcher Cox and why am I drawing a blank?
Malik Jackson.
Fletcher. Why all those guys have longer careers, why their production is so high. Brandon Graham, yes. Getting them breaks in this new league, it's definitely a faster paced league. So you need to get those guys on the sidelines.
Then you got Carson Wentz's heir when he goes down. Listen to Donovan McNabb drafting a quarterback in the 5th round.
Yeah, Clayton Thorson, Northwestern.
Donovan warned him. Guess he bought into it.
Yeah, it definitely had some kind of say in that. He was a teammate of Carson Wentz's at one point in his career. I forget when, but he's 6'4", 222. He is, again, 5th round pick. You can't really expect much of him for a quarterback. He's going to be a great depth guy if Nate Sudfeld doesn't pan out. But we'll see what he develops into. It should be fun to watch him. The only thing I really remember from him is when he got picked, what he did to his brother.
That was
not
too
clapping
funny.
him up. Yeah, that was classic. That'll be.
The funny thing about this pick is the pick right before Thurston was Easton Stick. This was Wentz's successor, and I don't know if whoever took him picked him because they thought the Eagles were going to pick him, but that's just kind of ironic how he got picked right in front of the Eagles. I don't know if they would have picked him or not, but I'm just happy we got a quarterback.
Yeah, it's again 5th round, so it's not
value.
It's not the not going to get a franchise quarterback there, not going to get a like an Aaron Rodgers or anything, but he'll be nice. Could get a Brady once in a lifetime, but again, just a depth guy. Just nice to have that third QB, because we know that Wentz is injury prone until he proves otherwise. So. What do you guys want to talk about? You guys want to talk about the Sixers or Phillies next?
Let's transition to Phillies next.
The Phillies, they actually just threw their first pitch. I think it was, I forget who was pitching.
I think Eichhoff's on the mound.
Yeah, he is against the Nationals. I think they're
Hellickson.
Yeah, they're home. Yep. So Phillies, they had a rough stretch at the end of that the 17 straight games that they had.
Which was expected.
Yeah, exactly. You can't ask much more, but they ended up splitting with the Tigers. They won the Marlins series and lost the Mets series in the last 3 series they've played. But I think the biggest thing to talk about here for the Phillies, like the headlining thing, is definitely Bryce Harper's recent performance, his slump. Definitely in the game on Tuesday, April 30th, when he went 0 for 4 and he dropped that pop fly. He got booed for the first real time in Philly, and he handled it very well, which is actually surprising. Before Harper was a Philly, I used to think that he was some kind of like stuck up kind of all-star. Like, again, that's probably because he was on the Nationals, but
Right.
yeah.
I think most of the Phillies fans probably had that perception.
Yeah. I thought he handled it well, though, and you can't really expect when we signed Bryce Harper, you know what you're getting into. You're getting a pretty average.
He's a passionate player.
Yeah.
You can't get mad at, like, I don't know. There's a difference between like being like a jerk and just playing with passion, and like you can always respect those guys that played with passion, and like he did play for a rival of us, so like it wasn't fun playing him for those years, but. You know, him being in Philly now, we got to support him. And, you know, I'm not really a big fan of that whole booth thing, but, you know, he did handle it pretty well. And it's a long season. So I'm not afraid that Harper's going to stay in the slump for too much longer.
Yeah, if you look at his career, it's more so just very average and then some slumps. And then, like, you get like a 3-series stretch where he has like home run, and he just plays out of his mind. But again, that's kind of how almost all baseball players are. You're not going to get 162 games of perfect play. So, Wolf, anything else on the Phillies? Talk about.
I know that down the stretch they're going to need, at least one pitcher. They need a guy who can close it out, because right now
their bullpen's just struggling.
Their bullpen's it's completely murky right now. We don't know we don't have an established closer. You know, we can throw in Neshek, but guy's 38, 39 years old. He shouldn't be closing out games. I think we got to go after him.
I don't know. Like, it's just hard to say. Like, it's hard to watch games. Like, it's upsetting because we'll be winning games by 2 or 3 runs. And, like, it'll get down to the 7th, 8th, 9th inning, and then you're concerned because our pitchers can't close out games.
Right. Who do we trust?
It's just, you know, I think our starters have got it under control a little bit more.
Yep.
It was a little harder to trust, you know, the Eflins and the Pavettas and Eichhoffs, but they've kind of been doing a little better lately.
Absolutely. I mean, add Aaron Nola to that mix too, because he's off to a rough start.
Yeah, he lowered his ERA this week.
He's getting better. The one guy who has shown consistency this year is Arrieta, which was not the case last year. Arrieta was on a downhill slope since the beginning.
It's nice to see him. But it's a nice veteran that we can have in the bullpen clubhouse.
That's a guy
he's a leader.
We need him to perform well. Yep. He was
when he lashed out against the Phillies for like coming out slow, you know, I can understand it, but you know, it is a little easier for him to say that, only pitching once every 5 days, you know. There's like we played 17 straight games, so it was like I don't know. But you know, you got to have those guys on the team that will get under guys' asses and tell them when they do stuff wrong.
He was one of the guys that found out that the Phillies were playing Fortnite during the middle of the game. Him and Carlos Santana. He wasn't the one that smashed the TV, but when he found out the guys were playing Fortnite in the middle of the game, he wasn't too happy about it. So, you know, that's another guy we have to depend on for leadership. We look to him for leadership. We need him to perform well all throughout this year because, I mean, he needs to pick up the slack for Nola. I mean, Nola's a guy that we need to perform, but luckily that for Arrieta, he's picking up the slack for him.
Yeah, it's one of the downfalls of having a team that's so close. Once one guy starts to kind of slack off and just dilly-dally around, you're going to get the rest of the team to do the same thing because they are so close.
It's contagious, man.
Yeah, it's again one of the downfalls, but having a close-knit team like that is definitely going to be positive for us down the stretch.
It's a long season, so you know, like that's one thing with like watching baseball. Like they only get all upset that the Phillies are 17-13, whatever they are right now, and they're only winning the NL East by like a game or so. Like there's 162 games in the season, like I'm not worried that the Phillies aren't going to be compete because last season we were the hottest team in the NL at the All-Star break, but we finished terrible.
We're still developing our chemistry. We have the newest guy. We have so many additions on our team that like it just we haven't settled in yet with our chemistry. Segura, Harper, McCutchen. We got like 3 relief pitchers. We got who else did we get? Realmuto. We have so many new additions. Like we can't just say get it together. You guys have been together for very long. These guys, they've only played about 30 games together. So you got to remember, they're still trying to develop chemistry. It's still very early. They'll make some moves down the stretch if they really need to. So I'm not worried. It's still early in the season.
Yeah. Right now, just to butt in what they're doing right now, they went 1-2-3 in the first inning. Ekhoff had 1 strikeout, and McCutchen made the other 2 outs. Strikeouts, whatever. And then you had Segura actually hit a homer his first at bat, and McCutchen, Harper got out, and Hoskins hit a single to center as of right now. So we're up
1-0.
1-0 right now with 2 hits. Just to give a little update there.
Good start.
Yeah.
We got a 3-game set with the Nationals, and then we take a little road trip to the Midwest. Play St. Louis and the Royals.
Yeah, these interdivision series in the early season is definitely some game changers when it comes down to the playoff run in
we should
October.
have swept Detroit.
We definitely.
But it was a nice win the other day. Even because we were winning 1-0, we went down 3-1, and I was like a little upset. But then we rallied back and scored. It was 7-3, I believe the final was.
7-3. We scored 4 in the
We
7th.
need because that's the thing with the Phillies. Like we're gonna give up some runs with our bullpen, but we need to be able to hit late in games and like be able to take leads and stuff.
Yeah, that's why we went so heavy on offense in the off season. We really went out there. Our lineup there's obviously now with the injuries there was no holes in it, but now we need some help. Let's talk about. I'm gonna actually check out what Scott Kingery and what his timetable is, because he's got the best batting average on the team. He's got I think he's batting 400, I believe. He is.
How many at bats though?
Almost 40, I think. I'm pretty sure almost 40.
Yeah, I think it's time to give Scott Kingery that second base position. I think Cesar, his time's up. I think it's time for Kingery to get that starting role, that everyday starting role. That is his contract that he signed his contract for, I should say. Cesar, he's not batting too well. I can't.
No, I don't mind Cesar.
I don't know his batting average exactly, but I know it's definitely not over 250.
He's actually hitting 283 right now, and
no way.
Yeah, his on base is 344. At the beginning of the season, he was in like a little slump in the beginning of the season.
He must have turned it up.
He was definitely under 250, but yeah, now he's at 283.
Okay.
But he's got 16 strikeouts, which really actually isn't even much. You got Hoskins with 35.
Hoskins leads the team with 9 home runs.
Yeah.
He's been 279. He's got 25 RBIs.
I definitely think he can.
Tied for Franco with the lead.
I know Peyton want to talk about Franco. Let's hear some stats from him, Peyton, from Michael.
No, I just had heard a stat that I always see the Phillies posting about something about the 8-hole, and people always talk about if he's such a great hitter, then why is he batting the 8-hole? Well, sometimes it's good to have good hitters late in your lineup because they can drive in runs rather than a bad hitter and then your pitcher, you know.
It balances out
in the 8-hole, he leads the league in RBIs by basically double. Like second and third are at 11 and 10 RBIs. So he's got 25 RBIs. It's pretty. He's tied the Phillies. He's leading the Phillies with Hoskins at 25, and Hoskins is like one of the hottest young players in the league right now.
And he's hitting in the 4-hole.
Yeah, and like
we've seen.
he's like Harper's obviously our best player, but stats always don't tell you that. Like you can't always
Right.
just get stats, but Harper is definitely the heart and soul of the team.
Right. Yeah, but we've seen Michael bat.
Yeah, because sometimes you
4-hole,
put the guy
5-hole,
up
3 in the past,
and you put a guy in a different spot in the lineup,
Right.
and it changes their mentality. Like sometimes like you don't need to feel like it's not based on skill. It's kind of like a strategy.
Yeah, being comfortable.
Like if it's more of like being a team player. Like if you
baseball's a game of psych, so yeah.
Like I can remember like I started like just for example for me like I would start batting in the second and I never really batted second, but I always batted better second because it was just like didn't have as much pressure as like batting like third or
Right.
fourth.
Yeah, it's all mentality. Yeah, and definitely at 8, there's really no pressure because you're usually almost starting the inning off, and you get the pitcher behind you, so it's not really worrying about making that third out.
Yeah, and we've seen Franco bat up before. I mean, his stats speak for themselves. It's drastically different this year. I know Peyton just said it's not all about the stats sometimes, but regarding Franco batting 8th, the stats are drastically different. So I think the Phillies should keep him there throughout the rest of the year. I think we have the best 8 hitter in baseball.
Yeah, I agree. I think,
and it just completely balances out our lineup.
Fix it,
Yeah, it just completely balances out our lineup for sure.
I saw a stat. He was I can't find it now, but when he was, oh here it is, runners in scoring position, he is batting 348, and when bases are loaded, he's batting 600. But he's only had 5 bats when that happens, but he's batting 3-5 there. Yeah, so
yeah,
he when
base clearing double the other night.
Yeah, exactly. So when the pressure is on, when the important moments, when he needs to extend that inning and just get it back to the top of the lineup or get that pinch hitter to get up, clear the bases, whatever it is, Franco's our guy. He's definitely a clutch player for us. There's really no reason to move him at this point until he ends up in some kind of slump. So we'll come back to the Phillies. We'll give another update on the game. Right now, we're going to move on to the Sixers. They are currently in the round 2 of this series with Toronto. They're in game
conference semis.
Yeah. So the first game, let's talk about that because our viewers didn't get to hear us talk about the first game. Well, our last episode was before that first game. First game was rough. 108-95. I thought
Kawhi dropped 45 points.
Yeah.
They just look sluggish.
The leading scorer for the Sixers was J.J. Redick with 17 points. That was just the story of that game, basically.
Yeah. After that game, watching that game, I thought that we were done and we were going to get swept. And then moving on to game 2, we ended up stealing it. We came out and I think it was like a 10-point lead that we took in the first quarter, which was huge because the Raptors were kind of just playing from behind the rest of that game. The Raptors came out sluggish, and that lead ultimately ended up giving us the win at 94-89.
Jimmy Butler led the scoring for the Sixers.
Yeah, that was James Butler.
30 yeah.
It's literally Jimmy.
Yeah, so 30 points there.
Kawhi had 35. Kawhi has just been really cooking this whole series, and it's just a matter of like he needs that support that he got all season, and like that's the problem with the Raptors. That's been the problem with them. Like they can't seem to finish in the playoffs. Like they can't play quality basketball as they have all season.
35 plus from Kawhi is expected. You said, it depends on the other guys. When game 2, Danny Green couldn't hit a 3, and that was the downfall to game 2 for the Raptors. Who else? Siakam. He's matching up with Tobias, right? Pascal Siakam.
Probably. I mean, he's a big guy. Either like I woun't see him matching up with Simmons, only because Simmons like runs points sometimes, but
Yeah, you know what you're getting from Kawhi every game. I mean, especially with Simmons on him. It all depends on what the rest of the team does, and it depends how the Sixers can defend that.
Another big thing in Game 2, which ended up ultimately leading to our win, was our bench. Our bench really came out and took over that game. Ennis had 13 points. He ended up playing 24 minutes.
Yeah, it was good overall sharing the basketball.
Yeah, it was all around just good basketball. It was a nice. I heard people say it was like an old school kind of game. I mean, 94-89, you rarely see that, especially in playoffs. It's usually like a 120 game, 130 game. But yeah, our bench played a big part in picking up the slack because, I mean, Simmons and Embiid, even Tobias, they really didn't have like incredible outings. So it was big for them to end up coming off the bench and staying hot.
Yeah, if the Sixers want to win the rest of these games, I think they got to keep it low scoring. When they're a disciplined team, when they're playing good defense, I think they're the best team on the court, regardless of who they play. I mean, it showed in Game 2 when we defeated the Raptors by the score of 5. It's just we got to continue to play disciplined basketball. We got to continue to execute, and I think that we're going to be on the right track. I think we're going to be able to win this series.
Yeah, so let's move over to Game 3. 116-95. That was actually yesterday. There was
it's kind of a rout at the end a little bit.
Yeah. Definitely towards the end.
Joel Embiid, 33 points. Jimmy Butler, 22, 9 and 9. And then you had Ben Simmons with his 10, 7 and 7.
I think the biggest thing from that game was Kyle Lowry. I saw his plus minus. I think it was.
Yeah, he was 2 for 7. 2 for 7 from the field with 7 points, and he played. I think it was like 38 minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
he had 5 assists. But that's what I was talking about. Kawhi had 33. Like that's a good night. You can't Kyle Lowry needs to produce if the Raptors.
Yeah.
They're down 2-1 now, and I think the Sixers. I mean, when they won that game in Toronto, they kind of took home court advantage a little bit. So the Raptors are kind of in a hole right now. Lowry kind of bounced back after his bad performance in the playoffs earlier. So I'm hoping that he can do that. Just because I like to watch a good series pan out. But overall, if the Sixers, they just need a consistent Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid. That's all they need. Everyone wants to, just when I listen to different radios here and there and watch TV, everyone wants to pipe up Ben Simmons. But you guys have Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid. Jimmy Butler is one of the best players in the league.
Especially with
and Joel Embiid is almost the best player in the league. So
right.
You don't need Ben Simmons to have the ball all this much in that. He's a good player, but you don't need to just rush him because he gets compared to LeBron James here and
especially with Kawhi guarding him this series.
Colin Cowherd.
I hate that guy.
He said something he's making claims that the Sixers don't need Joel Embiid. They'd be better without him. And he claims that he's clogging up the middle, this and that, and it's
he says things
he's one of the best players in the league. He's the best player on the Sixers
easily.
So how are you gonna say that? So I just think the Sixers need Joel Embiid and Jimmy. Jimmy Butler is the most. I like him as a player, but sometimes I think he's a little too emotional and gets a little too on his high horse. But he needs to just be a more consistent player if he wants to win a championship or contend for one.
Yeah. So that brings me to the point where. So what do you think happens next year with Jimmy Butler? Do you think he ends up getting a max contract? Does he end up walking? I think if they win this series and make a nice run in the next round, I think they have to resign him, give him whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I don't know. In today's league, he has to realize that he can't compete on a team by himself nowadays. His best option would be to stay in Philly with the young guys. So if he wants to win or if he wants to get paid is basically the question.
Right. the whole future with Butler, I think, is just really murky. I think they're gonna make. First off, they're gonna make Simmons their top priority. Then they're probably gonna have to. They're gonna give Harris a max deal, but like Dylan, like you said, I think if they continue winning, if they win the series, I think the chances that Butler stays here, they're gonna go up. His goal is to win now, and I think the most money he's gonna get is probably from a team where they're not too good, like the Kings or the Knicks or something. But he's at the point in his career where it's time to win now, and I think the best bet for him is probably to stay in Philly for at least one more year. We can give him a 1 year, however much money he wants contract.
Got a lot of superstars there in Philly.
Yeah,
you can't keep all of them. That's that's what they were aiming for this year. They went all in, and
they traded all those picks away.
So they're up 2-1 right now. They're looking pretty good. So we'll see if they can keep it up. I don't mind the Sixers. I like the Sixers. Yeah. Exciting to watch. One of my favorite teams to watch in the league.
Yeah, so he's 29 right now. He's actually 6'8", which is insane. When everybody on the basketball court, like, they look shorter than they actually are because everybody's so massive.
Because everybody's so tall.
It's ridiculous. 6'8". He looks like he was like 6'4". But he's 29 years old, so I think the longest contract, I should say, that he could even get is maybe 5 years, play until he's 34. Like, I don't know. Even in basketball, I think he could go shorter with that. So yeah, maybe that 1 year deal or 2 year deal is probably the best way to go. Like Peyton said, it's all going to depend on if he wants to win or if he wants the money. And if
he's always been that kind of guy that like wants to, like be like a Le'Veon Bell kind of guy, like.
Right.
Act like he's worth so much, but it's like just play basketball kind of and like let your play do the talk. Like if you're consistent enough, you'll get you're gonna be worthy.
Yeah, you get
like nobody wants a guy that was like starting fights just because like he wasn't happy with the coach and the other players on the team like he was doing in Minnesota.
I think the Sixers are a whole different team.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's going to be the selfish player, but like that's what I'm saying. If he can stay consistent and just like realize that the Sixers are the best fit for him, like I think he'll be in good shape.
Absolutely.
I think the Sixers are the best fit for him because like he needs the supporting cast around him, and they have a great supporting cast.
Yep.
Yeah, he fits in well, and I just wanted to play this video real quick. It's a video of where I saw it on Twitter earlier. He's telling Embiid to shoot the three, and
love that.
I'll play it right now just for everybody else to hear. He passes it out, shoots the three, and that's why you shoot it. It's just like the little things. Like he's a competitor, man. He's a fierce competitor, and he wants the team to succeed. It's not. So you just hope he stays true to that in the offseason, ends up staying in Philly for not a buku bucks, but
yeah,
definitely like Wiffle said, murky future for Jimmy Butler. It's gonna be really, it could go anywhere.
He has that big contract attitude, but like sometimes you need those guys that are willing to take a little bit of a pay cut just to keep the band together,
Speaking of murky future, how about Kawhi?
Dude,
what's going on with him? He hasn't really spoke much about the offseason.
Who knows with him, dude?
You think he's going to stay in Toronto?
I couldn't.
You can't expect him to talk much.
Right.
Like everyone wants to speculate where KD is going. Like, why does everyone think KD is going to the Knicks? Like, just let it play out. There's 30 teams like that, or 29 teams he can go to. I mean, not saying that he would go to like any team, but there's LA. There's other teams that, obviously I don't think he wants I think he wants to go somewhere and win a championship without Curry. So that's just not his legacy.
And be the number one guy.
Yeah,
because all his championships are with Curry. Curry's always going to have one more than him because he won before him. Yeah. So.
Well, it is hard to find a team where KD isn't the number one guy, and he just happens to be on the team where he isn't.
Like he is, but like he is the best scorer on the team, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's not the leader only because like Steph was there
Right.
first. Like that was the team that Steph built. Like Steph Curry, like I don't know. When you watch the Warriors now, I don't know more today than like the last couple of years because I feel like KD was kind of taking a back seat, but he's kind of taking more of the initiative this year and being like the number one guy. But you know, I don't buy the idea that him and Kyrie are plotting to go to New York.
No.
I mean, call me wrong if it happens, but
that's just speculation.
They're currently in a series with the Rockets. The last game they played was Tuesday.
They're up 2-0.
2-0, yeah. And the last game they played, KD actually led the team with 29 points and 44 minutes. They put him out there.
Yeah, the guy is just a stud. Like you can only do so much to guard that guy.
Yeah, he definitely
gets buckets.
He's definitely gonna always carry that legacy of just going to the Warriors though. Like that, I feel like that's the first thing that I think of when I hear him.
Well,
like just
because it's just a shame that like he was. I think they were up 3-1 against the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals and ended up losing to the Warriors. And the Warriors won the championship, and then he joined them next year. So it's like you were right there at the cusp. Like you could have.
He could have stayed with Russ, and
you could have made something happen. But you know, I don't. At the same time, you can't blame a guy for trying to like win and like go in there. Obviously, made it a little easier for them, but he's got 3 rings. Or he's going.
It's not the fact that he went there and like I don't even care about that like small example about him going there just to win a few rings. It's just he set the precedent for future player.
Yeah, it changed the league forever because like
DeMarcus Cousins, he said, "All right, I'm gonna go win a couple rings in Golden State. Why not?" Well, he signed a 1-year deal, so 1 ring, but I mean we'll see this year. But you know that's just. That worries the future. The future of the NBA worries me.
Yeah,
I just don't want. I don't want to see players joining. Yeah, super teams.
Especially with they have a luxury tax, right? Yeah. Don't they have the They don't have a hard cap, right? They just have that luxury tax.
I think
baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you literally could do. It's gonna come down. It'll be like baseball, where the Yankees and the Red Sox just dominate for 40 years, 50 years.
Well, they're not that lenient when it comes to. Luxury tax. They're a lot more lenient in the MLB.
It's okay. Yeah. So I mean, well, let's hear some predictions for this series. I know me and Wiffle gave out predictions last week. I said Sixers in 7 if they make it there. Obviously now it's a different story. I'm pretty sure Wiffle said Sixers in 6, right?
I think so.
Peyton,
that's what I'm going with right now.
The way it's looking now.
Yeah, you can get since it's now, you're already getting 3 games, but let's hear your predictions.
I mean, I don't know. My heart is telling me that the Raptors can pull this out, but it's just a matter of if they can win 3 straight games, and I don't really think they can do that, so I'll say Raptors in 7.
Raptors in 7. Wow, that's interesting because I think even if they lose their next game on Sunday, I think
they're going to win the next game.
Yeah, I think that's definitely
and maybe the game after that. But you know, it's when a team has its back against the wall. You know, it's a whole different game.
I think we could easily give up that game Sunday at home, and then end up traveling to Toronto and even losing that game. But if that game 6, I think is a lock for us, no matter what the series is in.
Yeah, coming back home, you can expect that's the only that's another reason why I'll give it to Toronto because like that game 7 at home is a pretty big deal. Like that's such an advantage, especially in basketball. Like it's so personable. Like you can see everyone's faces. You can talk. Like such a big street.
You got Drake in your ear.
Drake taunting the Sixers.
Drake and Meek Mill in the building. Like
it's a big deal.
Pretty good matchup. Got that guy waving his flag around.
He was actually beefing with Drake. I saw somebody did a story.
Yeah, because I heard some guy I work with is telling me that like
Both in the spotlight.
you can understand how like there's people on the floor seat like they were getting a little frustrated because obviously like those tickets are expensive and you just got this guy running around with a flag blocking your view.
Yeah, it's I don't know. You love to see the heart though.
Yeah, that's commitment.
I feel like that's just like the epitome of a Philadelphia fan on the road. He doesn't care. He's
Got
gonna
the
treat it like a
Celtics
home.
playing tonight, 8:00.
Yeah, I was just trying to pull up the
That's an interesting series.
I bet my brother. Because I don't know. I'd like to see the Bucks win. I bet him the Bucks will win the series.
I hope the Bucks win because I'd rather see the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals than the Celtics.
Yeah. The Sixers definitely match up better. Well, they got to get through Toronto first, but
Well,
they
yeah.
match up better against Milwaukee than
I think
Boston for sure.
the Bucks have enough to get it past the Celtics, but I don't know if they'll have enough to be able to get past whoever wins this series.
Right.
The Philly series.
So, let's say, let's just hear you guys' predictions for the finals, the NBA finals. What do you think it's going to be, and who do you think comes out on top?
When I did my before the playoffs had started, I did like a little bracket, and I had the Raptors and the Warriors playing in the finals, and I think I had the Warriors winning like 4-2 or something like that. You know, you hate to see it, but they're stacked out of their mind.
Yeah, you
No
definitely.
team can really match up with them. You know, and like if you think you can match up with them, then you got Kevin Durant, who just like at some points in the game can just literally turn stupid and just make every shot he puts up.
Right.
And then like Curry and Thompson are just like shooting threes from 40 feet away, and you can't really do much. So
Yeah, the Warriors have that overwhelming chemistry. It's just
even with Cousins out,
such a juggernaut.
it really did
playoffs.
nothing, even though he's such a great player.
Yeah, just imagine what guys like that could be on a team of their own, dude. Like if they just split that talent up, the playoffs would be
Right,
so
how
much more
competitive it would be.
competitive. The playoffs would be so much more competitive.
I had the Thunder beating the Blazers though in that bracket, so that kind of got spoiled. The Blazers are playing good now though. Like I think they'll beat the Nuggets.
They should, yeah.
I think it's 1-1.
It is 1-1, yeah.
I'll kick it off with my prediction. I think that I'm being completely wholehearted and unbiased here. I do think the Sixers will make it to the finals, but I think they'll come up short against Golden State in Game 6. That's my prediction.
Or 2.
Just like I said, like I said, the Warriors have that overwhelming chemistry, and it's just a juggernaut in the playoffs. I think, and they're just a more talented team. And I think, I mean,
you don't have to explain much on like why the Warriors would beat.
Yeah, they've been doing it for the past 4 years. If you just watch them, but
they're probably gonna go, I think this would be their fifth straight finals.
Yeah, because they won 3 and then they lost the one to Cleveland.
Well, the last 4 finals have been Cleveland and Golden State, so like it'll be different in the East, but I think Golden State is still coming out of the West.
Out of all 4 teams remaining, who would you guys want to see the most if you're the Sixers? If you had to face a team in the finals.
In the finals, I would.
In the finals, I mean, I would probably want to face the Nuggets, but I don't think they're going to make it. Like the Blazers, like I think the Blazers can win that series, and when they play the Warriors, I don't know, man. It's hard to like really say that any team is going to catch the Warriors slipping. You have to beat the Warriors 4 times. Yeah. Like it's hard to do that in a 7-game stretch. So that's why like the Warriors can slack some nights in the regular season and like sometimes in the playoffs, but the way the playoffs are set up, it's really built for the Warriors because like how are you going to beat a team 4 times?
That's such a monstrosity, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my prediction's same as Wolf. I think as long as we win this series against the Raptors, we should make it to the finals. But there's no way that I could see the Sixers end up being, or any team at that point, any team in the East beating the Warriors, at least this year. It's just it.
Like, you can expect. I feel like that's why I said 4-2. Like, the Raptors might win 2 games, but at the end of the day, like, I don't think anyone's gonna really put up that much of a fight against the Warriors this year.
It's hard to expect them to. Like you said, it's the NBA's definitely changed, and I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do to fix it. But for the next few years, next probably good half decade or even whole decade,
You're gonna, like, every summer you're gonna see some different shakeups because, like, even these guys that take the massive contracts, like, money wise, they're really not for that many years. Like, they'll get, like, KD. I think he got a 3-year deal, and, like, look how quick these 3 years have gone. So,
Right.
like, the big name guys, like, aren't really signing the long-term deals that much anymore.
All right. Well,
It's all about ability.
Yeah, the NBA is definitely just the league's broken at this point. But any other points you guys want to make on absolutely anything? Anything you want to bring up before we wrap the show up?
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
I had just written some notes about, like, different parts of the NFL draft, like, who had the best, like, who I thought had some of the best drafts, and, like, I wrote 5 teams down.
Okay.
Let's go over that. Good. Read them off, Peyton.
In no specific order. No bias, but I feel like the Colts definitely had a good draft. The Steelers had a good draft. The Packers, the Raiders, and the Patriots were all in my top 5. There was, like, a few teams, because I had checked some lists, but, like, the Redskins were up there, and I was just, like, really wasn't buying
I completely agree.
what the Redskins were doing, kind of. I mean, they got Sweat and Haskins, but
yeah, steals, 2 steals,
but,
man.
like, the Steelers traded up for Devin Bush. He's a good linebacker from Michigan. They got a wide receiver, Deontay Thompson. They drafted Benny Snell, who was a really good running back out of Kentucky. He, like, was leading the SEC for a couple years in yards and touchdowns and such. It's going to be a good 1-2 punch with him and James Conner. And then they had a whole bunch of picks. They drafted 6 other people. The Packers drafted Rashawn Gary and Darnell Savage, 2 great additions to their defense. The Raiders had 3 first-round draft picks, and, like, it's hard to buy into what the Raiders are doing because, like, they got Mike Mayock.
I feel like they're doing it too quickly.
They got, like, a TV crew running the show.
Yeah.
Literally.
John Gruden, Mike Mayock. So it's just a little weird, but Clelin Ferrell, Josh Jacobs, and Jonathan Abram, they're pretty good. And then the Patriots had a pretty decent draft. They drafted a wide receiver, another toy for Brady. They drafted a decent corner, Joe Juan Williams.
They had a ridiculous amount of picks
From
this
Vanderbilt. They got Chase Winovich, D lineman from Michigan. He's got a good motor, and they drafted Damian Harris, who played running back for Alabama. So, the Saban running backs are pretty good.
Yeah.
And the worst draft, I thought, I just wanted to talk about how terrible the Cardinals and how terrible their organization is, because it's like, I really can't, like, that's really so terrible how you draft a quarterback with the 10th overall 1 year and then, like, draft with the first. Like, that's a waste of a pick. You could have drafted someone else. Like, instead you traded in, like, the 3rd round or so.
Right, they got very little value out of that. It just, they
like,
should have just
really got, like, you wasted a pick, and, like, you hate to see that, but I wish they cut, because I don't think Rosen is that terrible.
There wasn't much to work with, man. You got an old Fitzgerald, you got a not very good line, and
I mean, I understand
Johnson
that,
was hurt that whole year.
Like, Kingsbury fell in love with Murray, but it's just a waste of a pick. And if you're doing good, obviously your goal is not to have high picks. So, like, when you get high picks, you want to use them, like, and get good players, not draft a player that you're just going to trade away.
Yeah, I think the best player in the draft, was number 3, the Williams that went to the Jets.
Yeah,
That
was
D tackle. I think he was the best
I
player
would
available in the
agree.
draft. I think he's better than Bosa.
Like he's just you can't like count on those guys all the time to come out of college. Like he's such a great run defense, like run stuffer, and he can get after the quarterback too. And like he's just like there's Alabama guys like that they can play some football, and like the Jets, like they did a lot this offseason, and like drafting him just like solidified
their
like,
whole line.
Not like solidified their team, but they really made the best choice there. There was really no other option.
I said on an earlier show that I think the Jets are the next team up in the AFC East. I think they're definitely going to start making a run for their money, give the Patriots a run for their money.
I'm not a huge fan of Darnold, but
I think he'll develop into something real nice. I think that they got some bright futures ahead of them. I'll just say that. Yeah. I think if once Brady retires, they're definitely going to be the next AFC East, like reigning champs, back to back.
Maybe.
But I think
we'll also see what Rosen does in Miami.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that that Josh Allen dropped down to number 7. How incredible is that? Some people had him going as the number 2 pick. This guy drops all the way to 7. It's incredible.
Yeah, I saw the Jaguars were up there for having a good draft because they.
Oh yeah, didn't they get Cody Ford early second round, or was it Jawan Taylor?
Yeah, they drafted Jawan Taylor.
Jawan Taylor. I know Nick Foles is happy about that.
And then didn't they get that Josh Allen guy, or he went to Buffalo?
Yeah, they got Allen with number 7.
Yeah. Well, who did Buffalo get? I knew they got one of those guys.
They
I feel like they're picking in the top 10.
It had to be a defensive guy, right?
Yeah. He was a D lineman.
They got Ed Oliver.
Yeah.
That's right, Ed Oliver, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know where he was going to get drafted. I remember in some early drafts they had him
Daniel Jones. What you guys think about him? Devin White with the Buccaneers, I think that's a good pick.
I think Jones is a reach. They probably could have got him. I feel like they could have got him with their 3rd first-round pick. Where they drafted, I forget, they got the one corner. But I think he would have been there in the late first round, to be honest. I think he was a reach. But their 2nd pick, Dexter Lawrence, I think that was a great pick.
I was in love with him, man.
They could have drafted.
Yeah, that's your guy, Dylan.
I wanted him for the Birds.
I think that's just overdoing it at this point. We have just way too many D linemen.
Yeah. Well, now, yeah, but like.
Well, not too many, but I mean, it's. We need to fill a different void.
No, I hear you. We had a great draft, but I don't know. I liked him for the team. Again, also a homer because of Clemson, but.
So I'll ask you guys a question. Let me get some way too early Super Bowl 54 predictions. Is that what we're on? 54, right?
54, yeah. Because Eagles won 52, which was 2 years ago, and 53 was last year.
Patriots, fucking hate the Patriots. But who are you guys? Some of your favorite teams coming out of the East Conference?
Man, if Wentz just stays healthy and has another great year, you can't write him off. I think easily they can make a run for the whole thing. And in the AFC, I mean, it's hard to say anybody but even with the Patriots losing Gronk, it's tough to see them.
They always find a way.
Can't count.
See them losing in the playoffs. It's just it's hard to see. But the Bears too. Bears have they had a young team last year and still made a deep run. Well, not a deep run, but had a great season and then ended up getting
the double doink.
The double doink, yeah. There's really only a handful of teams out there that I would even consider, but definitely the Patriots, and I think I would put money on
Colts are going to the Super Bowl, and it's no bias. They like if you look at their team, like it's just their time. It's their time. Like Brady's great and all, but
if they stay healthy, I agree. I think the Colts can.
Like if any team can, like that's the key with any team now.
I'm thinking.
Hopefully we can stay healthy and like we need our defense was good at times last year, but we need a top 10 defense all year. And like
I'm thinking another Saints Colts Super Bowl. Because
Colts.
I think the Saints are looking for redemption, and I think, like you said, Peyton, if you look at the Colts, it's just a sexy lineup. That's the best way to put it.
Like
they're loaded everywhere.
They hit a home run in the draft last year. They got Quentin Nelson,
absolutely,
Darius Leonard. Darius Leonard was the league's leading tackler, and Quentin Nelson basically made that offense.
I was gonna say
top 5 in the league.
They got two guys who transformed their whole position. Nelson transformed completely transformed the whole line, and then Leonard, he's the heart of that defense. Like, he's the heart of that defense.
Not laughable anymore, because the Colts have always struggled with their defense. Because they had the most money this offseason, and you see they didn't really spend a lot of it. And like, it's a little frustrating at times, but I'd rather build a good core than like go out and spend all this money. Because like, if you look at all the teams that spend a bunch of money, they're not really like great organizations or like late successful teams like the Jets and all those other teams that made moves.
Right.
But the Patriots are up there. I think the Packers can make some noise this year in the NFC. They've definitely made some upgrades on defense, and Rodgers has gotten a lot of heat in the media, like over like the last year, I feel like. But hopefully, he can kind of knock that off his shoulder, because Aaron Rodgers is one of the most exciting quarterbacks to watch, no doubt.
Easily one of the most exciting, especially in the fourth quarter.
That's the one thing about the Colts that makes them like so good. Like, if you watch Andrew Luck play, like especially in the fourth quarter, like he just makes the right choices, and it's just like.
And Luck's favorite guys coming
as
back.
Easy as it might look on TV, like, you always see the guys like that make the wrong choices, and how easy it is to squander like a whole season in the playoffs.
Yeah, the only thing with him, just like.
But the Chiefs, the Chiefs are still there. Mahomes is definitely the hottest young quarterback in the game.
I think they've regressed a little bit. I mean, you're always
they had like
still gonna be
the outlaws on their team, so
they
had to get rid of some outlaws.
Literally.
Well, that's
exciting to watch. Like, that's one
risk
thing
you take picking those guys.
In today's age, like, everything's magnified, and like sometimes I wish like it was like the 70s or 80s when like we didn't know much about the guy, like as much, and like not that I
condone
like any of the things these guys are doing or whatever, but like it is exciting to watch Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt play on the same team.
It's just a shame. It's really just a shame.
But in today's day and age, everybody hears about everything, and no one's perfect, but.
Yeah, that's why character is such a huge attribute on someone's draft profile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you have a bad attitude or a bad character, like your stock could drop a lot just because of that. Teams
look at
don't
last
trust
year.
you.
Last year, Larry Tunsil, he was supposed to go top 5. What was it? He dropped like 13.
He was supposed to be the number one pick.
Video.
Yeah, and it was which was actually like his other. Excuse me. Either his stepdad or his actual father who went on his actual Twitter and leaked the video, like as they were picking.
It's crazy.
So anything can happen, man. Absolutely anything can happen, and everything finds its way into the light.
It's a scary thing about wanting to be you want to be a celebrity, you better start deleting your tweets now.
Yeah, something you said in 2011 is going to come back and bite you. I said the other day, I made a bold prediction with, I forget what it was, but I made some kind of bold prediction. I'm like, yeah, all right, in 5 years, this show blows up, I'll be hearing from it. You have to be careful what you say. There's nothing.
Yeah, be careful what you tweet.
Yeah, especially tweets. You can just search certain words and it'll pull up every single time you said that word.
It's a shame, like even that, like when Villanova won the championship and that kid that nobody really even had heard of before the tournament, the Vincenzo guy or whatever, who ended up winning the tournament MVP. He like got his stuff blown on social media.
Yeah, it's
like
just. It's a blessing and a curse, man. That's the only way you can put it. Like, it's awesome that you can reach that many people at your fingertips, but again, it's you got these
Everything
guys.
is magnified.
Yeah,
you know?
kids like us, they're like the same age as the kids that are playing, like you said, in the AA tournament. And I was on Twitter at like I don't even know, like 10 years old, 11 years old. Obviously, the things I said then, I don't even know what anything was questionable. But an 11-year-old, it's different. It's different. Like
Right.
like
It's
19.
it's way different. You can't like say someone's mindset in high school is totally different than someone's mindset. Like, you know, they could be two different places in their life. Like, you can't judge people. You know, you never know what people go through. You know.
Yeah, that stuff on Twitter and Instagram, all that. That's just the surface, man. You gotta talk to people and get to know. Well, we got a little.
What's the Phillies? It's still 1-0.
We got a little deep there.
1-0.
No, it was 1-1 last time I checked.
Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1 top of the fourth.
Yeah, this is a big game here. This series, another one with the Nationals.
Every divisional series is huge.
Yeah.
It's all about like Dylan told me the other day. Like, it's nice to have the Marlins to come to town every once in a while, just have an easy series.
Yeah,
it's like we don't have to. We just need to win series consistently. Like, I don't need you to win.
We don't got to go for sweeps. Yeah, right.
I just need you to win series.
Exactly.
I need you to sign a relief pitcher.
Yeah, definitely that. Yeah, I won't even worry about the starting.
They're not going to be quiet at the deadline. They're going to make some moves.
No way. Definitely something big, especially if we're still in the running at like number 1.
I'm not worried.
As soon as we get Kingery back too, man, we got so many holes in our lineup right now. Like, these guys have to play almost every game. I haven't even seen a Double play. Where's he been?
He got put on the DL a couple weeks ago.
Quinn's not still on the DL, is he?
I think it was something with his leg or something. His hamstring, maybe.
That was the same thing with Kingery, isn't it? Williams finally got his
I like Nick Williams. I'd like to see a lot more of him.
Yeah, the time he's gotten this year, he's actually performed pretty well.
Yeah, he's only batting 150, but
he's got a couple home runs though, right? Yeah, he hasn't hit a whole lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not much of a pinch hitter. He doesn't really fit well with that role. He's a day-to-day guy.
Yeah,
he's a everyday guy, I should say.
He's got 4 RBIs and a homer and 2 doubles. He's batting 6 for 37. But yeah, like you said, it's more of a guy that's got to find his stride. He can't really just fill in.
It's not like baseball's a game. Like, you can't just. It's hard to hit coming off, like, just coming here and there, because it's a mental game. Like, if you don't ever get in a groove, you'll never be able to get in one. Like, you need to be able to get consistent at bats sometimes to be able to get out of your slump.
Yeah, baseball players are definitely the most superstitious of all any sports. Not even just the major sports, all sports. Definitely the most superstitious.
It's just always told, like, baseball's almost like 90% mental at times.
Definitely. I mean, you see Harper do the exact same thing. He taps the base 3 times.
He does a lot.
Yeah, it's all of them. Not even just him. Like, literally everyone is they got their thing.
Yeah, they don't want to change anything. They don't want to screw anything up.
Extremely superstitious players, man.
Whatever, man. I'll step on that line.
Yeah, stepping on
just a line.
All right. Well, we're sitting at 1 hour and 10 minutes right now.
Not bad.
I'll open it up again. Just any thoughts that you want to put out there, guys?
I'm good.
Thank you for everyone watching.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks
we'll have you back, man. We'll definitely have you back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's nice talking a little smack here and there. I'll be
nice to have an
excited to
opposing
talk.
view.
You know, I'm more of a football guy. I could talk for days about football.
Yeah, it's definitely me
Baseball is a little more. I'm a big Phillies guy, but day to day, there's not much to talk about. You know,
too. Yeah.
Right.
except getting frustrated about how they blew their lead.
I mean, hopefully we
Nah,
don't have to
hopefully
worry
bright
about that.
futures. Bright futures. I'm not worried about the Phillies. I think we'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
All right, so just once again, another reminder: Paige Bugies is the one that won the giveaway for the $20 Amazon gift card or anything equivalent to that.
Congrats, Paige.
So yeah, congrats, Paige. Thanks for everybody that participated in the giveaway. Thank you. We're trying to grow our Instagram big time. So again, that brings you back to our Linkle. It has absolutely everything you need to stay on top of Double D Sports Talk. We post on our Instagram daily, whether it's a sports update, whether it's Sixers, Phillies, Eagles, Flyers, anything. It's usually up there. You'll be able to stay on track with when we go live, when our next episodes are coming up. We post clips of the episode in the past, time to time, every now and then. So yeah, just that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.